Before 5th grade, students were taught that this flat represents one whole. We could still use that flat as one whole, but then how would we represent 1/10? 1/10 is smaller than one whole. We could break apart this flat into 10 rods. So I'm exchanging my flat for the 10 rods. Now I have 10 of these. One of these rods would be worth 1/10. If I exchange this for 10 of these would become my hundreds, and one of these would equal 100. It works the same way even if I change the value of the blocks. My flat is now going to represent 1/10. If I broke it apart into 10 pieces, one of the rods would be worth 100. If I broke the rod apart into my little squares, this one would now represent our 1,000s. If I was working the other way and I had 10 of the flats, I could exchange the flats for the cube, and that would represent one whole. The most important part about place value is how it changes in value by tens. So we needed 10 squares to make one rod, we need 10 rods to make one flat, and we need 10 flats to make one cube. So the value shifts by 10. The easiest way to multiply and divide decimals by tens is to draw out a place value chart. This is really helpful for students that are struggling to understand conceptually how the value changes. So we're first going to take a look at multiplying decimals by 10. I have the number 2 3500 times 10. I'm going to write this 2 3500 into my place value chart. So I have 2 ones, my decimal, I have 3 tenths, and I have 5 hundredths. I am multiplying by 10, so my value is going to increase. Since I'm only multiplying by 10, and we know that we need 10 pieces to exchange for the next value, I need to move only one place this way. So this would be times 10. So I need to move my 2 over one place value. So am I shifting the entire problem over? So I'm moving the 2 to the tens, I'm moving the 3 one place value over to the ones, and I'm moving the 5 over one place value to the 10. So my answer is now 23 5/10. Let's try another one. This time I have 46 hundredths times 10. I'm going to put it into my place value chart. This time I don't have any ones, so I'm going to put 0, my decimal, and my 46. So I have 4 tens and 6 hundredths. I'm multiplying by 10, so I'm increasing the value. I'm increasing the value by 10, so one place value. So my 4 is going to move one place value forward, so I now have 4 ones. And my 6 is moving one place value over and now into my tens. So now I have 4 6/10. Okay, the last trick I'm going to show you uses the same mathematical thinking. However, you have to think about it a little bit more because you're just moving the decimal in the number. I have the number 5 321 thousandths times 10. The trick for multiplying this is you have to count how many zeros you have in your number. So I have 1 0 in my tens. This tells me how many times I need to move my decimal place. I'm only moving my decimal one place to the right because I'm increasing my number. So my answer becomes 53 21 hundredths. Let's try another one. 3 and 57 times 10. I have 1 0, so I need to move my decimal 1 place value to the right. That gives me 35 and 7 tenths. Now let's take a look at multiplying decimals by 1/10. I'm going to start out with that same number, 2 and 35 hundredths times 1/10. I'm going to write my number inside of my place value chart, 2 and 35 hundredths. This time looking at my problem, I'm multiplying by 1/10. 1/10 is smaller than 1. So I know that my number is going to decrease in value. Since I'm decreasing, I need to move my numbers down. I'm going to move my 2 from the ones to the 10th. I'm going to move my 3/10 to the hundredths and the 5 hundredths to the thousands. So 2 and 35 hundredths equals 235 thousandths. You could also place a 0 up here, which is how you'll probably see it most often. Let's try another one. 7 and 8/10 times 1/10. I'm going to place that number inside of my place value chart. 7 and 8/10. I know that 1/10 is smaller than 1, so my value is decreasing. I'm going to move that 7 ones to my tenths and my 8 over to my hundredths. So 7 and 8/10 times 1/10 equals 78 hundredths. All right, now for the trick. I have 3 and 24 hundredths times 1/10. Again, we know that 1/10 is smaller than 1, so my value is going to decrease. Just like the trick before, we need to count the zeros. Sometimes that can be a little bit tricky seeing the number as a fraction. But students should know that 1/10 written as a decimal is the same as this, 1/10. So they know there's only one decimal place. My value is decreasing this time, so I am moving my decimal 1 place value to the left. So I now have the 3 and 24 hundredths times 1/10 equals 324 thousandths. Let's try one more. I have 58 and 2/10 times 1/10. I know 1/10 in decimal form is this. I have 1 0, so I'm moving my decimal 1 place value to the left because the value is decreasing. So 58 and 2/10 times 1/10 equals 5 and 82 hundredths.